So there's this meeting that happened between the Latin Kings and Fat Joe and Big Pun, right? It was said to
Okay.
be about Frankie Cutlass. Do you know about that meeting? Man, roll the clip.
Let me tell you what Joe did for me when me and Big Pun. So what happened was there was a situation, Frankie Cutlass, fell out of grace. They had a little family dispute there. Someone said something slick. And at that time, people believed Frankie Cutlass was a king. So I went to talk to Joe about it. It bothered me. I didn't like that it came out on the radio and they were portraying my nation as like punks, right? So I went. Joe was man enough to bring Pun. We sat on the table in Jimmy's Cafe. We talked about the problem. The brother was very respectful to me. So was Pun. Pun fell in love with us, and I fell in love with Pun. And he was going to come out with his album, so they needed to put out all his, all the posters up. And I really told him the Kings will do anything for you, Pun and Joe. We'll do anything as a support. We there for you, the Chicago. We all love y'all. All we want y'all not to forget us, right? To tell our stories like they tell their stories. And that's what my relationship was with them and listening to their music. A lot of people say Joe and was Pun a king. No, he supported the King movement and he loved us very much. And he had a lot of friends, but he wasn't. And we call him an honorary king because of who he was to us and what he did for us and how he united the Latino community over music.
I know what came before the meeting, how the meeting came about. I mean, we got to backtrack. If you're talking about the whole thing with Frankie Cutlass, you gotta backtrack to the point that he used to be a king.
Wait,
I don't
no,
know.
wait, but he was an actual bro? Like he wasn't
He
just
was an
affiliated?
actual. Nah, he was an actual bro. If you go back to his hit record, Puerto Rico, and if you see the video, you're gonna see he's DJing with the beads on, and those wasn't a fashion statement back then. So, in that time period, if you had those beads on, you was part of the family. Frankie Cutlet used to run around with a lot of wild bros at the time. Um, there's certain things that happened that led to him not being a bro anymore.
And I'm sure you can't divulge that, or
I mean, there's certain situations that happen, like like I said, it's like, I mean, we and you spoke. I don't like throwing dirt on people's names and bringing things up. It's just, I just don't. But one of them was definitely, he was told to stay away from Fat Joe,
why was he
and
told to stay away from Fat Joe?
because at the time there was street beef with Joe. Joe was part of a crew called Power Rule Unity or something like that. That was from like the forest area, and they was beefing with the bros from the south side. And the shit got kind of serious, bro. Like it got serious. People from both sides got indicted and did bids, and it got a little bit ugly. You know what I'm saying? So he was told to stay away from him. Um, Something
And he
happened at a
didn't.
parade. He didn't. That plus there was other allegations that I'm not gonna really get into. Why he lost his membership in the nation.
So you said something happened at the parade?
Well, he was confronted about a rumor, um, certain things that was going on, and his membership was terminated.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So I had spoke to Frankie, right, on the phone, and he had said that there was, because there was this rumor that he had got beat up by Terror Squad, right?
Okay.
And he denied that the beatdown ever happened. But Cuban told me that he remembers seeing like Macho and I think Flex come back to like camp, and they said that they had beat up Frankie. Now
But that's not the
Frankie,
reason why. That's not the reason why he lost his membership. Um, he lost his membership prior to that. So remember, to the world, he was still a king. So once he lost his affiliation, whatever happened with Terror Squad, whether they slapped him up, they beat him up, whatever happened, a lot of people thought that he was still affiliated with the nation. So that's why that meeting takes place, to make it very clear that he wasn't part of the nation anymore. He wasn't part of the movement. And not to think that, you know, he was part of the movement, because if he was part of the movement, that wouldn't have went down like that. So that's
Right. You guys
basically
wouldn't have been able to let that slide, like to be like, hey, you
nah,
touched one of ours, basically.
not at that time. At that time, they wouldn't have been able to make it at a parade. They wouldn't have been able to make it nowhere at that time. And it's like, you gotta understand, like, you know what I mean? Like, we was their biggest supporters. Like, not Joe, for instance. Like I said, there was certain things with Joe. But you talking about the rest of the Terror Squad, which Cuban, Stace, all of them, they never had beef with none of the Kings. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying, a big supporter of what they was doing, especially with Pun, because Pun had affiliation with the nation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody talks about Pun being a king. Pun was not a king. Let's make that clear. But did he roll with a
Wait,
lot of
wait,
what?
he was affiliated though, right?
He was affiliated to the. What I'm saying is, when we say affiliated, one thing is he fucked with a lot of bros. He had a lot of relationships with a lot of bros. There was a point that I heard he wanted to become a bro, but he didn't want to be a regular bro. He wanted to get his physical crown. And there's different stages that you go through before you could actually become a full ranking member. And he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go with the big dogs. And, you know, when it was made like that, he wasn't very happy about it. That's basically in a nutshell what happened. You know what I'm saying? But
But they made him an honorary bro.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what honorary bro is. I know you either king or you're not a king. I don't know about honorary. What do you mean
Got
by
you.
honorary? What
Well,
he's a make believe king? I don't know what that means. Like, I'm not trying to even be funny. Like, what is an honorary king?
I don't know. All I know is that I interviewed King Tone and he said that Pun, they love Pun so much they made him an honorary bro. That's what he said.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm not gonna dispute what it is what it is. But I don't know what honorary king is. I mean, I know he wanted to become a king. I know he loved the nation. I know there's family members from Terror Squad that are bros. Especially Hectech is related to I'm trying to remember if it's Tunes. I know Hectech is related to one of them. And the legendary Hectech, the real Hectech from the Bronx that everybody talking about that's doing life in yeah, the real Hectech. That's he related to one of the Terror Squad members. I just can't remember. I'm almost sure it's Tunes, bro. I'm almost sure it's one of them, bro. I gotta ask Cuban, bro. Because Cuban always be calling me here and there with messages from them and shit, or from upstate. So
Right.
up, but yeah, he
Yeah, because I know I spoke to Liza and Liza said that he never became a king. Pun never
nah,
became a king, and Cuban confirmed that too.
nah, I know that for a fact. He never, like I told you, from what I heard, and this is from people that was around Pun, like bros that was around Pun. They all said that he wanted to get the crown, but he didn't want to do the footwork. Like, you know what I'm saying? The different stages. You know, I don't know. Maybe it would have been dope to have him there. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like he represented us as a
Right.
king. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the lyrics that, if you listen to some of the lyrics, he's, never let my crown touch the ground. He had a lot of different like subliminals in his music. That's why there's so much controversy. Like, I'm not even controversy, like debate. Was he a king? Was he a king on probation? It's like the aura, the mystique about it. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that shit would have been fucking dope as hell to have somebody in the industry at that level and represent us. You know what I'm saying? Just like every other organization that has somebody in that level representing them. But I'll take that he was a Latino representing us. I'll take
Right.
that. You know what I mean? But it would have been fire. It definitely would have been fire. Maybe that's what he meant by honorary king. It is
Mhm.
what it is. Like, people still argue that, nah, he was a king, bro. He was a king. Because you hear the lyrics, you hear certain things, then you hear the Who's Kid story and certain things where he talks about the kings and stuff. So it's like, he had a respect for the nation. So, we always have that respect for him.
Right. So another thing that Frankie had spoke to me about was that he said there was rumors that he had snitched at that time, but he denied it. He said that didn't happen.
So he admitted that that was one of the allegations that were on his name.
Right.
Okay. So he admitted it. Um, Definitely was an allegation at the time. Um, I mean, listen, I never saw paperwork on that man's name, so I'm not gonna shit on him. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, that's why I didn't even want to bring this shit up. Like, even when we spoke about it, I don't like bringing that up unless there's paperwork on it. Like, there's other individuals that if I find the paperwork, you will definitely get that paperwork. Um,
Okay.
but um, yeah, I never saw no paperwork, but I definitely know the situation that happened at the parade when he lost his crown and he stopped being a member. Because like I said, at that time, I used to call home every day to check in with there was a sister that we used to all check in with, and we used to check in with the different brothers that were in leadership in Manhattan at the time, Turbo and Sideside and different bros. Rest in peace, my brothers. A lot of them is not here, but the story he knows. I know the story. He knows the story. We're not gonna get into it. He want to tell the story one day. He could tell the story one day. But yeah, he was relinquished of his membership at the parade, and I guess whatever happened with Terror Squad was after that, and people just want to make it clear that he wasn't part of the nation. Like, yeah, I ain't touched one of our members. Let's be clear. He wasn't part of us. So don't think what I mean that you're gonna make us look like we some punks or something. I guess that was maybe the mind frame when that meeting took place. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you what went on in the meeting, but I'm pretty sure that was the logistics of the meeting. Yeah, y'all fucked him up, but he wasn't a bro. Just
Right.
let's make that clear. you know.
Right. And Frankie, you're definitely more than welcome to to come on the platform and share your side of things, That's always out
I
there.
mean, listen, you can't take what he did too. He also contributed to what hip hop is. Him, Tony Touch,
Absolutely.
a lot of different Latinos, bro. So it's like, he had his mistakes. He made his mistakes in life. He turned his life over to God now. I think he does Christian music and stuff like that now, whatever. Listen, God bless him. That's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, everybody has found peace in their lives. I'm not gonna shit on him because there ain't no paperwork on him to say he's a rat. So why take away his legacy? He made a mistake. He lost his membership. Okay, maybe that saved his life. Maybe that kept him out of prison. You never know what decisions lead to in life. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Right. Absolutely.
You know.